Hello, Divine Feminine. It is time for your Divine Masculines reading today. This reading is all about your Divine Masculine and what is going on with them, past, present, and future. How they feel about their karmic and how they feel about you. Really, that's all that matters, right? How do they feel about you? Karmic, schmarmic. Right? Although those karmics are there for a reason and a purpose. We may not like them at all, but they are there to teach us something. And they're there to teach your Divine Masculine something, which in the long run will actually benefit you, Divine Feminine, because the universe is always working in our favor, even when we don't understand why things are happening the way that they're happening. It's still conspiring for you, not against you, I promise. It oftentimes feels, especially when you're going through the dark night of the soul, that it is conspiring against you. But the truth is, we are in a loving universe, and we are made from that loving universe. And just like when we're raising children of our own, we sometimes have to do things that teach them lessons, and it causes them to cry and be upset and to feel pain. We know that it's in their best interest because it's going to help them to grow into, healthy, happy adults. The universe sees us the same way. We were created we were created by the Creator in the Creator's image in order to be creators ourselves. And the universe that we are in right now is teaching us how to do just that, to be creators. And we are in duality, learning the laws of duality, the laws of the universe, the knowledge of good and evil, in order to be able to wield those powers with grace and wisdom. And that's why you're going through what you're going through right now. So, the sucky parts, I promise, are leading you to the good stuff. And that's what you are made of. You are made of all the good stuff. So, even when your Divine Masculine is being a pain in the you-know-what, I promise you it's all happening for a divine and higher purpose, which will be revealed to you. You will not be left in the dark forever, I promise. You will not. Everything is coming into the light. That is the purpose of meeting your twin flame, is to bring it all into the light, to make you consciously aware of who you are, which is a divine soul. You're not just a mere mortal. No. You're something much greater than that. You are connected to the heavens. You are connected to the stars. You have been around for eons. And there is a God or goddess living within you. I'll give you a little hint. It is you. So, embrace your journey and trust it. I promise you it's leading you to your Garden of Eden, your paradise. And that's your birthright. And someday you will look back on this journey, these aspects of your journey, even the hard parts, with a reverence and a fondness for the lessons that it taught you. I went a little too far between on these. Because you'll see how it all syncs up together and the beauty of it all. And it'll leave you in awe and amazement and wonder. You'll marvel it, I promise. And if someone had told me that when I was mad, when I was smack dab in the middle of the dark night of the soul, I would have punched them in the face. So please forgive me. I'm just the messenger. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. I promise you there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if it seems like it's just a little pinpoint right now. Even if it seems like it gets closer and then gets like taken away. I promise you, Divine Feminine. There's something so extraordinary about you. So the universe said, you know what? It is just time for this person to wake up. And you know what? It's a tough process, but this person, they've got it. They've got what it takes. So it's time for that phoenix to fall into the fire and turn into ash and then rise up as the master that you truly are. That's your truth. I know this. I know it because I have been through this with you guys, okay? We're all in this together. And I know this to be true because it's true for everyone. You're ready, Divine Feminine. You are 100% ready for this journey. And you have all the tools that it takes to navigate your way through the gauntlet. And I will do whatever I can to help you in this process because I know what you are. You are an absolute badass. That's true. All right. At the bottom of the deck today, we have the Hierophant. So the overall energy for today is the Hierophant, which means that your divine masculine has kind of an energy of conformity. They're trying to conform to what they think through this false egoic identity that's been bestowed upon them, just like every other human on the planet. They want to conform to that because they think that if they do that, then they'll find happiness and success and, you know, that everything will just fall into place. But no, it doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't work like that, especially because they've met you, okay? And your divine masculine is going through an awakening just like you, but it's not going to look the same and they may not be fully aware of it, okay? They're not going to experience it the same way as you because they are the divine masculine in the relationship. So it's just going to be experienced differently, right? And you are mixing it up, right? Your energy has come in and created like a nuclear bomb in their life, just like they created one in yours. And so they're resisting all of that and they're trying to conform to this old paradigm. So that's the overall energy of Divine Masculine's reading today. I wanted to give you guys, because I'm doing this as a new thing, sometimes forget, I wanted to give you guys your number today. We have 4 and 2. So that could be 6, that could be 42 or 24. However you want to break it down. If any of those numbers have relevance to you, that is your numerology number for today for the reading. In recent past, Divine Masculine has tried to move on. What they're trying to move on from isn't quite clear yet. I think as we get into this reading a little bit more and look at what's going on with you in the karmic, that might reveal a little bit more to us. But there's something that they have this feeling of like, okay, you know, I'm ready to just let certain things go. I'm ready to, I guess, what is the feeling that I'm getting from this? There's a feeling, and I'm trying to find the right way to describe it to you. They feel like they've learned certain lessons. They feel like they've connected certain dots. and that they're seeing a bigger picture. And because of that, they feel like, okay, I have the clarity that I need to let certain things go in my life, because they believe that letting certain things go is going to allow them to attain an outcome that they're shooting for. So what that outcome is and what they need to let go, let's kind of take a look and see what that means for our masculine here. All right, so here's what I am getting, at least from the karmic side of this. They have been wanting to grow a family unit. There's many stages that they could be in this with, like with this karmic person. It could be a budding, like fairly new relationship that they've been looking at potentially solidifying through marriage or like a deeper commitment. In hopes that it's going to move in the direction of creating a family. They may have already been married for several years and have started to create that family. Or they could be deep into it, many, many years into it with, teenagers. And, this has been something that they've been working on for a long period of time. What I see, though, is that regardless of where they're at in this karmic relationship, whatever stage they're in with it, the Six of Swords shows me that there is some kind of transition or some type of move that needs to be made. You'll have to kind of look at that situation and kind of determine what your divine masculine's circumstances are and kind of where they're at with that. But there's something that needs to shift in this dynamic, because there's something about it that is not in alignment with what they actually want. The danger is that if they've already created some kind of a family unit with this person, this could mean that they've exerted and spent a lot of time and emotion to build this, what they would look at as like, their legacy. But it may not be the forever that they thought that it was going to be. It doesn't mean that it was wrong for the time and for the period that it's been in their life. Again, whether it's short or long. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's forever. Okay, so something is about to change and shift in this dynamic and reveal to divine masculine that this isn't in alignment with their future, at least in the way that they had anticipated and expected when they started out in this journey with this other person. Some people are meant to get together and to be together for a period of time and have children. And then things just end up showing that there's a fork in the road. It's a painful process, even if it's meant to be, for any kind of a relationship to break down. We know, we've experienced it, everyone has. Trying to force it to remain and resisting obvious need for change is where we sometimes as humans can get into trouble, because we're afraid of the unknown and we're afraid of making bad decisions. So your divine masculine is kind of trying to cling on to this, probably with this energy of the Hierophant, because of thinking, well, no, this isn't the way things were supposed to be. This is, so they're trying to like basically fit a square peg into a round hole. It's not a fit. It's not a match anymore. It was meant to be exactly as it has been, but there's something that is pulling divine masculine in another direction. So that kind of shows us a little bit about why this Five of Cups is showing up in this reading. Toward you, they've had a very deep connection with you, divine feminine. But there's something about you that's very triggering to them. It's something about your life, the things that you've been through, the experiences that you've had. I'm seeing that maybe you've had some very abusive relationships before in the past, that have really taken a toll on your emotional and mental health, about surrounding feelings of safety and an ability to trust. That seems to be something that's difficult for you. And that's exactly, it's kind of like your triggers trigger your divine masculine. Your triggers trigger them, and their triggers trigger you. And so triggers are not a bad thing, though. We think of them as bad, but they're really not a bad thing because they show us areas that we need to work on. So, or that we need to look at, right? If we get cut, the body has this built-in, system that says, if we get cut, we feel pain. And it's like this alarm bell, this alert system, like, whoop, 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 hey, you got something over here. You got to look at it. Is it just a little paper cut, or you need to go to the hospital because your arm's barely hanging on by a thread? If we didn't have pain, and there are people in this world that don't experience pain, like that mechanism is broken in them, and they don't feel pain, and that can be very dangerous because they won't even realize that they've been injured. And so it is an alert system, and your emotional body has an alert system as well. And so being triggered is just like that little cut, like, hey, here's a wound here, you need to look at this. And it's showing you that there's something that you need to observe and look at. And it's the same thing for divine masculine. And so with you, because of the fact that there's these triggers that come up that force them to look at themselves, it's very difficult to be around you because they've got some heavy duty stuff. And if they're externalizing that and they haven't gotten to a place where they can internalize and understand, they might see you as the reason or the problem, when in actuality it's not. It's just something that they're perceiving and projecting. It's not your fault, and it's actually a benefit to both of you. You are becoming far more consciously aware of that because of your spiritual awakening path, divine feminine. Divine masculine sometimes trails behind a little bit, but that's okay. They just go through it differently than we do. They experience it on a different, plane, I guess you could say, than we do. So it's not going to look the same in the 3D world. How they react and respond to it isn't going to be the same. But the root causes of that are going to be the same between the two of you. So they care very, very much about you, and they're very drawn to you, but they're also terrified of the relationship with you, which is maybe part of the reason why they're like, this is safe, even though I'm not happy here, I am safe. The known, at least it's safe, right? Even if we're not happy. This is like unknown territory, uncharted lands that divine masculine is scared to death of. And that's okay, because you know what? The universe is going to force them out of their shell, just like it's doing with you, and make them look at all this stuff. Why? Because you guys are going through an ascension, and you are, so of course they are, right? It's just the way it works. Now, you guys, we have excellent one-on-ones and tarot readings available for you. We also have phenomenal group calls. That is the best bang for your buck. You get a lot of group calls per month, anywhere from $20 to $40, depending on which package you choose, and which one makes sense for you. But you'll either get 16 calls a month with the lowest package, or even more with the, you'll get double that with the other one. So check out our description box below and you can get information. It's also the-conduits.com. You can get more information there on how to sign up. But we really do have the best calls, and all of our past calls are available for you guys to listen. So when you do that, you're going to instantly have access to a whole bunch of calls where you're going to get so much coaching. Not just from myself and Cam and Brent, but also we've got really advanced twin flames that have been on this journey for a long time. And they're there merely to support others who are starting out or still in places of confusion. So you're going to get a whole network of people that are there to help you. So you don't have to be alone in this journey, because this can be a very lonely journey, because we don't have the ability, like other people don't get it, right? Because they haven't gone through it. So they can't get it. They just can't. And then they might even create more confusion for you, because when you try to explain it to them, they're looking at you like you're crazy or something, right? Or you may not even want to tell them, because you know that they're going to think it's crazy, because you would have thought it was crazy. You never expected to be on this journey, right? You never did. It just kind of happens to us. And so you're not alone in that. So check out our group calls. I really think you guys are going to like them. And we have a coaching package that's coming out very, very soon, in a few weeks from now. So stay tuned for that. I think you guys are going to really, really like it. We love all of you guys in the community and want to do what we can to support and elevate you guys on your path, okay? All right. So currently, right now, for your divine masculine, we have King of Cups in reverse. So with King of Cups in reverse, we have an abusive person that is emotional and manipulative. I don't think this is your divine masculine that's possessing these traits. It's possible that it could be pointing toward some behaviors that your divine masculine needs to drop in order to align with themselves. But I think it's more the karmic situation that they're dealing with. There could be multiple people that are manipulative and abusive toward your divine masculine. And it could be kind of a it takes two to tango situation. Sometimes the lines can get really blurry in relationships as to whose fault is what, and who did this, and who's started it. And, sometimes we can just be so mad at each other that there's just no way to come back together, and everything seems like manipulation, because both people are just so desperate to be heard and understood. And the doors are closed and nobody's listening to either party. So I think your divine masculine is currently dealing with what happens when we hold on to something that we shouldn't be holding on to anymore. When we just need to let something go, the longer we hold on to it, the more uncomfortable it's going to get. Because someone in the call today said this, and I loved what they said. You either shift or you are shifted. Not sure where they got that from, but that's an excellent quote. And so whoever made that up, kudos to you, because I like it. Shift or be shifted. If you don't make that shift on your own, the universe is going to do it for you. It's a philosophy and a belief that I have known for a long time, but I've never heard it said that way. So wherever that came from, that's a good one. I like it. So in the karmic situation, this is kind of the proof in the pudding. This karmic situation is actively turning quite toxic for your divine masculine. it may have started out very well intentioned by both parties, but over time it is devolving into just arguments, abuse, denial. Both parties are not living in authenticity. There's dishonesty. It's really just a battle of egos at this point for your divine masculine in this karmic situation. And that's not a good place for either member of that party to be in. With you, divine feminine, these are some good cards. Means that your divine masculine is seeing you in a very different light. As things are kind of revealing themselves to divine masculine, their priorities and perspectives are shifting. And it's a result of them having to deal with a lot of these things that have been being triggered within them. The universe gives us what we need before it can give us what we want. And sometimes what we need is to be triggered into letting certain things go, or to changing certain kinds of habits that don't serve us very well. And so with that, we have, the Emperor, which is, being a leader. They kind of see you like that. Like, not necessarily that you have leadership, like a leadership personality, which you may have, but they see you as sort of this force of change in their life. This reason to do things differently. You are a motivating force for them. And they really, really admire you for that. They're feeling a lot of nostalgia toward the relationship and the experiences that they have had with you. So they're missing you a lot right now. I believe it's very possible that they are, if they're not in contact with you right now, I bet you that they are looking at you online and checking out your social media, or looking at old photos of the two of you together, reading back through old texts that you guys have had, and just kind of reminiscing on what was, because they're seeing it through a new lens, and they really miss the energy between the two of you. They miss it a lot. In the near future, we have Queen of Swords. So your divine masculine is going through quite a big transformation right now. They're very different at this stage than they were at this stage. This journey is maturing your divine masculine, and they're becoming far more self-sufficient. They're learning to trust themselves and to be more forthcoming, and to live in their authenticity. They've realized that the sacrifice of not being authentic in order to please others is far greater than any loss that can be a result of them being authentic. That is powerful stuff. That is a position. That is what the universe is trying to make happen in this divine encounter and relationship between you and your divine masculine. That's the purpose of it. And your divine, it's clicking for them. It's clicking for them. And here we have it with the karmic situation. The breakup is happening at this stage. It's inevitable. It can't be stopped. And it shouldn't be. It's sad, though. And it should be respected, because any kind, especially if they're in a marriage with children, that process has to be allowed to happen, to take place in a way that's for the highest good of everyone involved, because you never want children or anything like that to be hurt. But it's happening anyway. And it's because in this kind of a situation, when it gets to that level of toxicity, it's better that it doesn't continue for all parties involved. It doesn't make it any less sad. And there is going to be fallout. You can't go through this kind of a breakup without there being fault. If there's no children involved, it's still going to leave a lot of scars on both parties. But these are things that are there to help us grow in the long run. It's the hard lessons learned, which is why it still has to be respected, even though it's meant to be. And so, yeah, with the Lovers in reverse, that breakup, it's just too many bad choices. Things are not they're not recoverable. They can't be reconciled anymore. And then with Ace of Cups in reverse, there's just a lot of sadness. There's a lot of depression, and it's not going to be easy for your divine masculine when they go through this period right now. But a light is at the end of the tunnel. It is moving divine masculine into alignment with this next phase of their life. And is also positioning the other party, and if there are children, to learn the foundations of what they need to learn and why they're here. We all come here to experience these things with each other for a reason as souls. And so these lessons are there for everyone in order to learn and to grow. And the right people will show up to support this, this transformation that's taking place. Now, between you and your divine masculine in the near future, I think as a result of what's happening here, your divine masculine isn't going to be exactly 100% in a place to immediately jump into any kind of other relationship. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to reach out and want to talk to you and be close to you. So at this stage, I think, divine feminine, you're going to want to make sure that you follow your intuition and don't fall for the ego when if you see that things are not in alignment, even with your twin flame, you have to say no. And so you may need to say no to certain things, but don't be worried about that, because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Sometimes we have to tell our twin flame that it's not the right thing or not the right time. If they're not at a place where they're able to be in alignment with the trajectory that we know we're going on, we have to also live in our authenticity and do what's right for us, right? And so if divine masculine wants to be a part of that, then they need to be in a place where they've grown and healed and matured so that they can show up properly, and they will. But if they're going through all this stuff and they're not able to show up for you because they still need to show up for themselves, it's okay to give them that space to do that, because that means that you still need some space as well to be able to do that. That doesn't mean you can't talk to them and you can't be around them. Just know that the universe is orchestrating things the way that it should in order to bring you both to the life that you are meant to lead together. Okay, now that can mean a lot of different things. Some twin flames don't end up in a romantic relationship. Sometimes they end up with other people, but they're friends. They're really, really good friends. But when that happens, it's because that's exactly what they both want. It's the way that the universe reveals it to us, and so we know, and we're totally happy with that and content with that. And I know that seems kind of crazy, especially in the beginning, because we can't stop thinking about them and we're obsessed over it. But I promise you, if that's the case, it'll be meant to be. But that doesn't mean that they don't sometimes get married too. Sometimes they do get married. Sometimes they end up having children and families together. There's so many different ways that the twin flame relationship reveals itself. But I promise you, every single time, the road is always leading you to your bliss. Okay, it is. So, You don't have to worry about how it's going to show up. Know that it's leading you to your bliss regardless, okay? You guys are one soul, like one soul. At the core, you're the same. You are one. So, I have two hands, one body, two paths, one destination. When this hand is performing a task over here and this one's performing a task over here, we're still working toward the same agenda that the body's trying to do, right? Like right now, this one's holding the deck while this one's shuffling it. They're working together in tandem toward the same common goal. They're part of the same body. You and your twin flame are working in tandem, two bodies, one soul, two hands, one body. Do you see what I'm saying? You know that everything's happening the way that it's supposed to, You know that you and your divine masculine are performing your divine mission together here. It's going to reveal itself to you. That's the point I'm trying to make, okay? Never fret or worry. All right, so here is our oracle card for today. I live in truth. Talked a lot about authenticity in this reading, so I bet this is going to have something to do with that. Let me look it up really quick. Okay. All right, so I live in truth. This looks like a caduceus type of thing here with the lock and key, right? That's pretty cool. I see this is like a keyhole. And, there's an eye here, the third eye. You got the kundalini, or the caduceus, the chakra system leading to enlightenment and transcendence here. The keys to the kingdom with the universe through that keyhole right there, right? Let's see what this card says. The Hermetic principle of polarity describes the dual nature of reality in such a way that reconciles the very notion, stating that all truths are but half-truths and every truth is half false. This complicated paradox may cause us to wonder, what is truth anyway? Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. All is one. We are collapsing duality when we live in our truth. In looking at truth beyond the esoteric lens and into what is in the present moment, this malleable concept may ideally be understood as a choice to live in alignment with what is authentic to your true instinct, the heart of your soul's song. When we are out of alignment with truth, the heart can feel heavy, anchored in weight of deceit to self, paralyzed by inauthentic action. The venomous energy of dishonesty constricts the potential to be a creator within a consciously creative reality, as the space in which your soul orbits spirals into discord. In looking at a life of truth as an ideal to strive toward, let us be reminded of the serpent as an energetic metaphor. The serpent moves through life fluidly, following intuition, allowing its senses to guide its actions, and does not question movement, but rather follows as instinctual truth. As time goes by, the serpent sheds its skin, letting go of what is no longer necessary, slightly transformed, but ever evolving and consistently moving with the momentum of its soul's song. In our human existence, we are presented with daily obstacles and potentially difficult personalities that will cause us to instinctually tell a half-truth or say something half-false. But if we try to stay in alignment with our first intuition and speak less, teach more, we anchor our awareness in authenticity. For every true no we say, we remain in alignment with more yes. And what may feel in opposition is actually a reconciliation with duality. The snake sheds its skin when it is no longer necessary, but it is still the same snake if we remember to shed what is in discord with our truth, as no longer in alignment with our soul's song, we become who we truly are, transformed. This applies so much to both you and your divine masculine, because you're both going through a transformation. And just like your divine masculine has to say no and let go of what's no longer serving them, you may, while they're still not in alignment with you, have to say no to them. But that's you living in your authenticity. And when you do that, your divine masculine does the same as well. And that's going to unlock that key to the kingdom. And that's what the universe is urging you both toward through this spiritual ascension process that you have found yourself on, divine feminine. You are special. You are noble. You are beautiful. You are amazing. And you are kind. Be who you truly are, and never be ashamed to be who you are. Never be ashamed, regardless of whatever mistakes or, little trip ups you've experienced. They've all helped to shape you, and it happens to all of us. Okay. So thank you so much for being with me today in this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.